talk about how we approach a script. And you had a live session just a little while ago.
I
And
did.
why don't you tell us
I was
what happened in
ready.
that?
I was ready for the one script. I was
Hmm.
20 minutes early. I like to read it over. Some clients I like to print out the page, especially if I know I need to mark it up a lot.
Yeah.
In English class in like ninth grade, I learned how to mark up,
Yeah.
your script so I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
pause here, slash here for whatever. But today I had a script and then they're like, "Oh, can you do another one?" Oh, yes. Yes, and
Right.
we'll we'll figure out how to add whatever that costs later. And they were like, "Yeah, that's totally fine. Okay, here's your script." And I don't think I'm dyslexic, but I like to read over my script a bunch of times because I
Yeah.
feel like the more I read over it, the more flowy I can get with it, especially if they want a more conversational read.
Mm.
So it was kind of like, "Oh, okay."
Was it
And
a
I
long script?
read No, it was short. It was like
Okay. That's good.
a backwards poem where, like,
Oh.
you read it I've never really
Yeah. You
noticed
read it one
you
way and
put
then it
it
has a
down,
different meaning when you read
it
it the
says
other way.
negative, and then when you
Yes.
read it back,
Yeah.
it's positive. So
Yep.
I did one of those today, and I messed up some of the words because my brain just it tries to get I'm trying to feel the script and get the
Hmm.
emotion
Hmm.
is how I approach it, but sometimes I, like, miss words because I'm so into the emotion about it.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because then the other part of me is like, "Gosh, people are thinking like, 'Oh, you idiot.' Like, the word is right there." But, like, I'm trying to feel it and visualize it, and it's hard to do all that and get the exact right words. So that's my challenge.
Yeah.
Just trying
That
to get
happens all the time. I can't tell you how many live sessions I've been in. They're like, "Michelle, you put an added word in there or you took a word out." And I was like, "Did I?"
I know, and I don't remember saying that. And
Yeah.
I think the client is like, "It's right there. How
No, I
can
don't
you not read it?"
that's not been my experience. They laugh. I'm like, "It's funny how your eyes do that." Like, it puts it to where you want it, and they laugh, and usually they're pretty cool. They're just like, "No, it's good, actually," like and I've
Oh,
had people be like, "I actually liked it the way you said it," and they've changed it sometimes.
right. If it doesn't have any kind of legal
Yeah.
attachment
Yeah.
to it. I
Yeah.
read a script for a salon once, and I
Mhm.
accidentally said saloon. That's
Well,
a
that
whole
would probably
different
be
business.
illegal.
That would be a legal issue. Yeah,
Saloon, that's
whatever.
alright.
Spa
Yeah,
and saloon. I think I said
we're
spa and
human.
saloon.
You had what? You said what?
It was like a spa and saloon. I was like, "Wow, that kinda sounds nice,
That could
actually."
be, like, a new place
New
to go.
thing.
I think. I love it.
Are your kids driving you nuts?
Yeah. Here's a spa saloon. You need
Saloon.
a massage and a
Sign
beer.
sign me up.
I think we just invented something. We should go on Shark Tank.
I should. Let's call Mark Cuban.
Oh my
Get us
god.
going. So, how do you approach a script when you get something from a client? Do you have a certain process or everything's just a little bit different?
Well, when I always say this, when I approach a script for an audition and versus a job,
Right.
2 different things. For an audition, I don't read it. I go right into the audition and I let it occur to me as I'm reading it because I feel like that's the most natural. When I get an odd when I get a s and I actually do that with a job when I'm recording on my own too, now that I
Right.
think about it, because I don't need to reread it because I can mess up and I can, like, whatever. I just because so that's interesting. I know that just occurred to me. That just occurred to me. For an audition and for a job I'm doing on my own, I do not read it ahead of time. I'm a weirdo, aren't I?
You're a good reader, that's
I
why
I
you can
don't know
do that.
about that, but I want it to feel fresh and feel like I'm not, like, over analyzing it because then it's gonna sound not connected. So that's
Right.
interesting. So that's those 2. But then when if I have a live session, I do not do that because I don't
Right.
wanna sound like, "Bleh." And I do mark it up. I often print it. I mark it up. Um, yeah. I think for a live session, I almost always print it because it's ironic, but my where I put my script is over here where I need to face the mic, but if I was looking at it on the computer, I wouldn't be facing my mic, so that's not good. So I need to have it printed for a live session, so I'm not even, like, trying to, like, do
Right.
this, right? So I print it up, I read through it, and I do mark it up like you. I use a highlighter too if I wanna,
Oh,
like, emphasize a word, I'll be like pink highlight, or I'll, like, put a little slash, or, like, if a line continues into the next, I'll do dot, 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 and, like, an arrow, so I know, like, oh, don't, just because this line ends, you need to go to the next or whatever. And I do that. Um, yeah, but I've also had clients say, oh, did you get the 9 scripts? I'm like, no, I got the 2. And they're in the session and you're just like, and then, like it's hard because you're gonna your brain and your mouth is just gonna mess up words because you haven't had a minute with it, but I don't take hours with it. Some people like spend an hour analyzing the script. I don't do that. I just read it through. I take 5 minutes, read it through, and like mark it up so that it makes sense to my brain. That's it.
And probably you can do that because you've been doing this for years and years and years, right?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I do think over time you get better at it. So if you're new to this, it takes
Taking
time.
time to mark up the script and understand what they're saying and who's the target audience
Mhm.
and right.
But more important than the words in the script, I try to figure out the meaning. I remember way back, like 20 years ago, when I took my first like class in VO, they talked about like intention and an action word. So like, so what I do is like, what am I trying to do
What are we
here?
communicating?
Yeah, thank you. What am I communicating? Am I trying to like inspire? Am I trying to make someone understand something? Like, am I trying to teach? Am I trying, like, what is the word you just used? What
Communication,
is the communication of this
action.
script?
How am I going to
What is
communicate?
the action word? And then what I'll try to find like 1 or 2, maybe 3 words to infuse it, like marinate it, marinate the
Right.
script, like infuse the script with those energies. And if the clients came into it, we really want this to feel fresh and modern, or whatever they say, I will add those words to the top of my script and I say those before I
Yeah,
start. Yep, I'll be
yeah,
like
those are good.
fresh, modern, funny, quirky, whatever it is, inspiring, inspirational or warm or whatever it is. I'll add their words too. So I kind of have that. It's almost like it's like, okay, this is kind of color my script,
Yeah,
color my read, if you will.
I like the color. I think of like little knobs on a board. And the little knobs are, like when you look at a soundboard, they have all the
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
and one is like, a little less emotion. So I'll just turn that knob down just a
Turn
little
them
bit.
up or
I want a
down.
little bit more professional sound. So, okay, let's turn that
Ah,
just a little bit.
right.
My
So
husband's a sound engineer, so
yes, that helps.
that's what
So
I
it's
envision. And they always say split the diff, like, all right, we'll just bring it down, but not quite as
Well, I like that because it's still, I always feel like people like put on my professional voice. Like in that like analogy, it's still you. You're just turning up and down parts of you,
right.
but
Yes.
it's still you.
So, like, let's lean into the mic a little bit because I'm going to be softer and this is going to be a little bit more of a conversational read.
Yep. Yeah. I like
Or
that
if you're
because
trying to inspire and you
hmm
have to put the right pauses in the right place,
mm.
make the whole world a better place.
I'm so
I- You know what
inspired.
I mean? Like, it depends what music they pick and how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
a lot of times I'll ask the client, can you just send music or just give me some kind of maybe
Feel.
feel for what I'm going
Mm-hmm.
for so I can approach the script the right way. Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I have a different idea and I do this great read and it would be great with this kind of music, but the client's like, "Actually, we're kind of going in this direction." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I would have known."
Well,
Yeah, and then you just switch all the knobs and go in that
yeah.
direction.
Well, so this is an interesting one. Are you good at like, if you don't get the video, you don't get the music or whatever, but just because this is like a skill set that I've learned and I feel like I've gotten pretty good at, but it's not everybody can do this, is like letting the words like I let the words, if I don't have any of those pieces, I let the words inform me and I kind of make a vision in my head of what I think the video is. There was a whole project I did for this anyway, it was an amazing project, but it was these beautiful videos and he was recording them, like getting the film work done, and he had me do the scripts without seeing any of the film work, but they were like faith-based, and I just had, they were so well worded that it really gave me a visual in my head, and I did not see anything, and I recorded them all, and then he put them to the thing, and they like
And it was
beautiful. They were
amazing.
magic. Yeah. And he's like, how did you get the feel without seeing this video? And I was like, the words were so good. Like the writer did such a good job that I
The writer
felt them. Yeah.
The script writing makes a huge difference. I
Mhm.
think the editor makes a
Mhm.
huge difference.
Yeah.
I've had projects where it's been a wonderful script, and I've recorded it, and the editor sends it, and I'm like, "Oh, like, different music could have made such a big impact."
Yeah.
Or it's a fantastic cinematic film, everything's there, but the script is kinda wonky.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
all these pieces, it's not just about us and our read,
Mhm.
it's all these pieces that come together
Yeah.
form this
And when they come
beautiful thing.
together in the best right, it's like it takes your
It
breath
makes
away.
me
Yeah.
happy, yeah,
Yeah.
because 'cause you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"This can make an impact, like, this is
Mhm.
actually
Yeah. Yeah.
something be released in the world and people are gonna be affected by it."
Yeah. For sure. Nice. So,
So that's how we approach a script, I guess.
there it is.
There's not like a step 1, 2, 3,
No, and everybody's different, right? Everybody you
right?
gotta find what works for you and, you know.
And keep practicing, like, keep
Mhm.
approaching that, and if something's not working, try something else,
Yeah.
Paper doesn't
And
work, try
they're
something
words,
writing.
they're important, you're supposed to bring those to life, but the most important thing for you to do is I think people get hung up on, like, doing the words perfectly instead of, like, really connecting to what they're saying, so.
And enunciation too,
Mhm.
some you don't want to enunciate everything that you say,
Right. I don't.
right?
Yeah, you want it to feel natural, like,
Yeah.
the
Sometimes
however
it
you
gets
get to that.
jumbled up in your mouth because
Mhm.
that's just more natural how we
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless unless the client says, "Can you enunciate that better?"
Yes, which would be more for cer and again, they're all different types of scripts. Certain scripts will call for that more and
Right.
other scripts won't, so,
Yeah,
I know you and I do a lot of more of the cinematic, although we do it all. We do it all.
we do.
We do it all. Thanks for watching.
For watching.
Bye.